The Democratic Alliance has unveiled its provincial election manifesto in the Western Cape earlier today. The manifesto has outlined the party's plan to remain in power in the only province where it holds the majority vote. Newzroom Afrika's Yazeed Kamaldien is in Paarl and shares this with us.
Good afternoon, that's correct. I am in Paarl, coming to you live from outside the Huguenot Community Centre. The Premier Alan Winde launched the election manifesto in the, the candidate Premier in the upcoming election. He launched his election manifesto for the province. But now I'm going to be joined by John Steenhuisen. He's the leader of the Democratic Alliance, and he's going to talk to us about why it's so important for the party to keep the Democratic Alliance in power in this province. Mr. Steenhuisen, welcome to Newzroom Afrika.
Great to be with you, and obviously great to be with the viewers at home.
So, Alan Winde has launched and your party has launched the election manifesto in the Western Cape. It focuses on the basics, but it also speaks, I guess, to the emotions and needs of people. Tell us about your election manifesto.
So, the election manifesto here in the Western Cape, as it is with the National Manifesto, it's not a long laundry list of things we'd like to see, but focusing on the core things that if we don't get right as a province and a country going forward, we won't be able to get anything else right. So it's things like ending load shedding and water shedding, making sure that our children are learning. How do we keep people safe in communities by putting police men and women on the street? The successes of the LEAP program that have advanced 27,000 arrests in the last year. How you grow an economy that creates jobs, 300,000 new jobs created in the Western Cape in the last year alone. These are the building blocks to a successful province, and they're also the building blocks to a successful country. And that's what our manifestos focus on. We're not promising the earth, moon and the sky. We're promising to focus like a laser beam on getting the basics right so that every citizen can live a life of dignity and everybody has an opportunity to build a better life for themselves.
Now, your election posters are going up all over the Western Cape. We see it in Cape Town as well. The slogan is Rescue South Africa. Exactly what are you saying South Africa needs to be rescued from?
South Africa needs to be rescued from 20 years of corrupt government that has failed to deliver to the people of South Africa. We need to be rescued from a government that cannot get the basics right, which is why we're sitting with load shedding, why large parts of Gauteng, KwaZulu-Natal, Limpopo and other provinces are sitting without water in their taps. A government that doesn't know how to build an environment to create jobs, which is why we're sitting with a 42% unemployment rate. A government that can't keep people safe anymore, which is why we are losing 75 people to murder every single day, and while criminals hold whole communities to ransom. A government that cannot build a capable state, that has destroyed all of its capability through cadre deployment. We're offering not only to end all of these terrible things, but we're also putting on the table workable solutions to show that we can make these things work, and we also come with a demonstration of how we're getting this right where we govern, whether it's the DA-run Western Cape, whether it's Midvaal municipality in Gauteng, whether it's Umgeni municipality in KwaZulu-Natal. Where the DA governs, we're applying these processes.
I have to ask you my last question before we wrap now. Is the DA feeling the heat from opposition and smaller, newer parties in this province? And that was mentioned, of course, in today's speeches here as well.
Well, two big enemies of progress in the Western Cape. One is complacency, voters who've had it really good here for 15 years, who think that nothing could change. And secondly, these small popcorn parties that pop up every election and then go stale the next day or swept away. What they did in Knysna is open the door for the coalition of corruption to come in. People were complacent in Knysna. They didn't come and vote, and then some of them split their vote with these small parties, and that's the reason why Knysna sits without water today, with mountains of rubbish. Everywhere that it's been open for this coalition of corruption to come in, where the vote has been split, it's ended up in disaster for the people. Thank you.
Thank you so much. John Steenhuisen there, the leader of the Democratic Alliance, very poetically talking about pop-up parties. And I'll hand it now back to you in the studio. We are going to be following Alan Winde as he takes to the streets to campaign for votes here in Paarl in the Western Cape. Back to you in the studio.
Yazeed Kamaldien coming to us from the Western Cape. Appreciate your time.